So here we are, guys, at the end of the year, and let's be honest, this has been a pretty good year for State of Decay, but what's crazy about how good 2021 was, the game still has plenty of updates to still go through. Today's video is no different, as we have confirmation of what new updates and changes we're going to see, including changes to the maps, sieges, guys, and even legacy characters and that elusive forever communities. Most of this, guys, has direct quotes from the developers themselves. You don't even have to take my word for it. Make sure you guys hit that red button below so you guys stay up to date with all State of Decay 2 and 3 news. Also, quickly hit that thumbs up if you guys don't mind. So this past week, Undead Labs hosted their final stream of 2021, and within that stream, they released quite a few nuggets on things that we'll be seeing in the future and updated. But one thing that stood out to me more than anything was that about legacy characters. Now, at one point in the stream, he mentions how a lot of people have huge legacy pool of characters who have defeated prior maps, but how we can't access most of them. Well, he says something pretty eye-opening here. Let's take a listen.
Joe and Brent and I have all been advocating for a solution for that for quite some time, and we're getting closer and closer than we ever have to be able to sort of give you a way out of that situation, because we know you need, especially those of you who have stuck with us for the past 4 years playing this game. You've got really full legacy pools by now, and you deserve a chance to get something out of them. So yeah, we're going to keep working on that problem.
So right there, he goes on to say they are closer and closer than they ever have. So they are opening up something that's going to allow access to your full legacy of characters, which is really awesome. And I wonder if this is part of the solution with the upcoming update that has something to do with forever communities. Now, speaking of that, I also pulled this from a different source, guys. This is another direct quote from Jeffrey about letting people keep playing after they beat a map and after they complete a legacy. You're going to want to take a listen to this.
Oh, hey, so Scott Lannon is asking whether it's possible to let people continue a community after completing one of the endgame scenarios, one of the legacies. That is something that we've considered. So, stick around and keep watching our streams, and we'll see if that ends up being something that we can get to. Because, yeah, I definitely see why you'd want that. Because, so many players, they really like committing long-term to a community. And that's, hard to do if a lot of the game is pointing you towards these legacies that cause you to end your community and put them on the legacy pool. And so if we gave you the ability to continue with the same community after completing your legacy, I think that would lighten up a lot of that pressure. And actually, people would probably complete legacies a lot more often because they'd be just way less costly.
Now, guys, as you hear him say, stick around and watch our streams. Right there, that's a huge hint, and I have to say now, this right here might be the biggest news, because remember, one of my last videos, we talked about how maybe Undead Labs is bringing back something like maybe Breakdown from State of Decay 1 that lets you go on and play forever. Here we have confirmation they are certainly looking to implement something to keep you going after you beat a map. Let's put 2 and 2 together right there. So if you're someone who likes to stay with one community, beat a map, and keep going, that is now in the cards. So let's recap the 2 things here. Undead Labs is now close to a solution to access all our most powerful characters from the legacy pool and then continue our communities going from map to map. Guys, we have a lot of great stuff to look forward to. With that, guys, we essentially got another confirmation yet again, and this has already been heavily hinted before. It's done so here again, with the rest of the maps getting the full touch-up that Providence Ridge just received in Update 28. I want you guys to go ahead and take a listen to this clip from Jeffrey.
All right, so Undead Toad has a question. Is it possible for the other maps, like Meager Valley, Cascade Hills, and Drucker County, to receive improvements like Providence Ridge? Yes, that is entirely possible. But that does not mean we're not working on the other maps. In fact, I would probably assume that we are working on the other maps. That's just a very good guess that you might make without me revealing anything.
So, I mean, God bless Jeffrey, but that pretty much is a full confirmation. Of course, things can change, guys, until it's officially announced, and I want you guys to keep that in mind. But I mean, the writing's on the wall, and I think we can look forward to it. And I want to say that I would think that this would be maybe map to map, update to update. So I would be very surprised to see multiple maps in just one update, but who knows? Fingers crossed, by the way, for a Drucker County touch matchup as one of the first ones. But anyways, guys, finally they mentioned something that was somewhat surprising to me and new that I didn't know was actually being considered. That is how sieges work. During the stream, and I'm paraphrasing here, they mentioned how the encounters of sieges are essentially uneventful and they're not all that interesting, while there looks to be changes potentially to the difficulty of it. They were slightly vague on this, so I don't know if they mean changes to the encounter or they're just talking about making it easier or more harder, but they did confirm some change will be taking place. I personally have never liked sieges. I think they're more of a nuisance. I also find the reward certainly not worth it, so at the minimum, I'd like to see if you take on a massive siege and like the very hardest, that you at least get more of a reward, even if you're doing it by accident because your community is making so much noise. Honestly, I'm not sure how you can make that siege encounter a little less dull, and I'd love to hear comments below on what you guys have, maybe some ideas or tips to give Undead Labs. But either way, guys, this was a lot of nuggets on what changes and updates we'll see in 2022. Personally, I'm very much looking forward to all of it, especially the forever communities. Really though, make that spicy. Look to implement something that changes the difficulties for those who want a greater challenge like myself, and also give the option for those who just want the nomad life on the same difficulty scale. Options are always a good thing. I know many months ago Jeffrey mentioned in my comment section that upping the difficulty even further for hardcore players like myself could be an option, and they would do it via potentially a difficulty slider. But either way, we'll see. Let me know in the comments, guys, your thoughts on all these future updates and what you think of it and what we're set to see. Also, guys, what else do you hope makes the rounds in this game before we see State of Decay 3? I'd love to hear those ideas and thoughts below. I'm Sunny, and as always, guys, stay safe out there, survivors.